Hello and welcome to Penguin TV. It is recorded by George Ephelis, aka Whiffy Penguin, and you can follow me on Twitter at Whiffy Penguin. Penguin TV is hosted by PureMTGO.com and sponsored by MTGOTraders.com. Get an 8% discount off all orders over $50 when paying with PayPal or credit card. And you can check out KeepYourGames.com and get an extra 20% off when trading paper for digital. Enjoy the videos. Hey there everybody, welcome to round 1 with the Snapcaster Mage Classic deck. I have no idea what I'm going to call it yet. But if you watched in the deck tech, then you saw that I built this deck about 30 minutes before the event. And I'm going in cold. I lost the round 1 footage that I had, so I'm going to do replays. So, it's round 1. I believe I won the die roll, and, oh no, I did not. The crisp one did. And I draw up this hand, and I kind of liked it. I had mental misstep for any turn 1 plays, and I could also Snapcaster the misstep back if I really wanted to with Mana Crypt. But I had the ability to set up a turn 2 Jace, and that's why I really liked the hand. So he leads with Delta. I draw Force of Will, which is great for this hand, and, he runs out an Oath, and I Force of Will it, pitching the Snapcaster. He Force of Wills back with a Mystical Tutor, and so here, after drawing the Trigon Predator, my thought process was, well, his hand is pretty low. If I can get lucky and he does not flip Dragon's Breath, I can play Predator now, and then play Jace the next turn and bounce whatever he flipped over. While I was thinking this out loud, though, I forgot to attack with my Spirit. So there goes Trigon, and there goes a forgotten attack with the Spirit token. He mills just a Blightsteel Colossus and no Dragon's Breath. He gets rid of a Jace, a Force of Will, and a mental misstep. Nothing really important. I mean, I guess drawing the Jace would have been pretty important. But we got there. We got lucky. So now the question is, does he have a counterspell in the 2 cards in his hand? We play the Jace, it resolves, bounce the 11/11, and start swinging. And at this point, I also wasteland his Tropical Island, because I have an answer to Oath of Druids. I don't care how many tokens I get. What I do want, though, is for him to have to tap his lands, because I believe he skipped a land drop on that turn, or I figured with only 2 cards he didn't have any more lands. Wasteland comes back, hits my Tropical. So I draw a Tezzeret, another blue card, I believe it was Force of Will, and Voltaic Key Underground Sea. And I decide that I'm going to try and assemble a Tezzeret on the next turn by playing out the Voltaic Key now. I swing, he takes it, and I've got a Force of Will active. He plays land go. I jam out Tezzeret this turn after the attack, or before the attack I should say, and that gets a concession. So for game 2, I sideboarded out 3 Snapcaster Mages for 2 Trigon Predators and a Nature's Claim, and I sideboarded out, I believe, 1 Sensei's Divining Top and 1 Mental Misstep for the other 2 Nature's Claims. I believe that's how I sideboard. No, I took out a Chain of Vapor for one of the Nature's Claims and left the Sensei's Top in. So here we are for game 2. He's on the play. I really like this hand. And my first draw is a fetch land. And I debated whether I wanted to turn Brainstorm's potential power off by fetching the basic island in my deck with the fetch land instead of playing a swamp. That way I could have access to Tinker and another blue mana for Brainstorm on the next turn. So he leads off with just the land, and here's where I draw the fetch land and I debate. I decide to go for the basic island, because if he had a mental misstep for my Sol Ring and then a wasteland for an underground sea or a tropical island, that would have just been terrible. And I wanted to set up a situation exactly like this. I brainstorm into a Vampiric Tutor, Force of Will, and another land. So I put back the Snapcaster Mage, because unfortunately, in this matchup, I don't think he does too much damage against a deck that wants me to have creatures. But yeah, so I Force of Will into a Vampiric Tutor, and my thinking is that I have a Force of Will with a Brainstorm to pitch for whatever he does, and I can Vampiric Tutor into a Mana Drain to protect my Tinker. Plays a Wasteland and a Sol Ring, and luckily he taps the Wasteland. Vampiric Tutor for the Mana Drain. And here I go to my second main phase with Tinker. That way, if my Mana Drain resolves, I can get my mana in my next main phase of my next turn, instead of getting it in this phase right here by doing the Tinker in my first main phase. And he pitches a Force of Will to Force of Will, and that makes me think that his hand is pretty much empty. And it is, as he concedes on his draw step. Sorry that this wasn't a live game, but unfortunately the file was corrupted. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you for round 2.